Hi, world. My name is Danielle, and for those of you that have known me for a long time, you likely know me as Danny. I'm an outgoing Leo that's both spicy and sweet. I'm creative, driven, full of optimism and zest for life. I have my dream job working in pro sports, and I'm surrounded by an amazing circle of people that inspire me every day. Most who know me would say I also radiate confidence, which is probably true, but not all of them know about the battle that I've been fighting for decades now. This has been a long time coming for me, 19 years to be exact. It's taken that long for me to feel comfortable in my own skin. Instead of hiding from fears of judgment and humiliation, I'm facing them head on. I'm leaning into my vulnerability and discomfort and channeling it with purpose. That purpose being to empower others, encourage self-love, and normalize hair loss. After all, Apple did make emojis bald. So happy September 30th. It's time to freaking celebrate because it's the day that I'm dedicating to taking my life back. I'm the master who holds the keys to everything that happens up here. All right, so here's my story and buckle in because it's a long one. So when I was 8 years old, my mom was giving me a bath when she noticed a small bald spot the size of a coin, toonie for you Canadians, at the back of my head. Obviously concerned, she took me to the doctor to get it checked out. I was so young and naive that the first thing I asked her was, "Mommy, do I have cancer?" My family doctor soon identified that I had developed an autoimmune disease called alopecia areata. In a nutshell, it's when your white blood cells attack your hair follicles, causing your hair to fall out. Thinks that the hair is bad for my system, so I like to think of my body as being on overdrive, trying to heal itself. Maybe I'm just too healthy. Obviously kidding. But in all seriousness, alopecia is a common autoimmune disease that causes hair loss on the scalp, face, and sometimes in other areas of the body. It affects as many as 6.8 million people in the US with a lifetime risk of 2.1%, which I truly believe is a stat that I fall into, except that I'm Canadian. People of all ages, sexes, and ethnic groups can develop this disease. In most cases, it does first appear in childhood, like it did for me. However, it can be different for everyone who experiences it. So since my initial diagnosis, my physical and mental well-being has gone through a whirlwind of experiences. Like I said, 19 years of it to be exact. I've gone from one little spot to many little spots to big patches to a fully bald head. I've gone from a fully bald head to my hair entirely grown back, only for it to start falling out again 4 months later. Oh, and let's not forget the so traumatic days when my eyebrows and eyelashes started to feel the effects too. That really takes a toll on you. I have traumatic memories as a child where my wig fell off in public settings. I recall friends who I confided in talking about me behind my back, and worse, even on social media platforms. I remember the first time I opened up to a boyfriend, I was suffocating in tears the entire time. I could go on and on looking back at these experiences, and I think the most common thing between all of them is the shame and embarrassment I felt over and over again. I kept on with the self-sabotage and the internal dialogue that felt pity and felt the why me. But here I am at 27 years old, living in 2020 through a pandemic, a political war, an environmental crisis, and most importantly, a social justice movement. And I can't help but finally ask myself, why the fuck not me? I've handled this for so long now that maybe this was the story that was meant for me. I've grown a ton, I've learned a ton, and through it as a child through to adulthood. And because of that, I've become a hell of a lot stronger of a woman. I'm not afraid anymore. And I've realized that there's far bigger things in this world to be worried about than how other people perceive me. I'm more concerned about the person that I am on the inside, is who people want to be surrounded by. I want to welcome others who are silently suffering through their own battles, whatever that be. I want to welcome them into my circle. I want to stir up dialogue around the importance of understanding others' vulnerabilities. And most importantly, I want to change the world and the way it perceives beauty, because I certainly had a distorted view of it for myself for a long time. I'd be remiss if I didn't highlight some key individuals who helped me shape this new frame of mind. I wouldn't be comfortable enough to be taking a leap and building a platform out of this if it weren't for these people. People like Cash Johnson, a fellow Torontonian, super bubbly, who I had creeped a time or two and admired from afar, all without any idea she was experiencing the same hardships of this disease as well. Then there's Christy Valdeseri, the first bald model to be featured in Sports Illustrated. Not only is she using her platform to normalize baldness, but she also launched the Baltourage, where 1,000+ women have gathered to deal with hair loss together. She provides a glimpse of hope, comic relief, and even hacks on how to glam up your look with other badass baldies like Abby Wren. And who can forget about my incredible support system? The people I worship most. My friends and family, the real ones who have been there through thick and thin, literally. These are people who look at me as so much more than a wig or a bald head, but as a strong, successful, empowering woman that I've grown into. And finally, to my colleagues at work, you were my trial run. I sent an email to you, about 100 of you, a couple months back, with the goal of teaching a lesson on vulnerability. And truly, it was the biggest first step for me. Your responses filled my heart with so much love and encouragement that strengthened me to level up and be talking about this here today. I'm a Leo through and through, and the lioness is courageous enough to handle anything. So I think I was right. I think this is the story for me. And with that, I'm excited to start on this journey with you. I'm excited to finally be me. I'd love your support in helping others elevate and share my experiences. So please subscribe, share, and comment if you're in for the ride.